Hello everyone, welcome to Everything Arsenal. Match reaction, Inter Milan 1, Arsenal nil. And those kind of games are very, very confusing because you feel like you've really played well. You don't deserve to lose that game. But then again, you're like, okay, there's a couple of things you needed to do better so to win the game. And you're like, okay, Inter Milan have more experience. They have the know-how, and that's why they've beaten us in that kind of in that game. Because literally, ever since we came back to the Champions League last season and played Lens away, PSV away, Sevilla away, FC Porto away, Bayern Munich away, this season so far, Atalanta away in this one. Out of all those 7 games that we played away from home, I actually think this is our best performance out of all of those 7 games that we played away from home since coming back to the Champions League last season. PSV, Lens, those were poor performances. Sevilla was okay. Bayern Munich was a poor performance. FC Porto was a poor performance. And Atalanta was definitely a poor performance. Today's game, I literally do think that we've played the best away from home in a European game for a long time. This has happened for the first time in a long time. I didn't expect us to play this well in that game, but ultimately you still end up losing the game, and you also have to look at why you lost the game and all that. And listen, if we had beaten Bournemouth and beaten Newcastle and ended up losing this game, I'd be like, okay, whatever. No one is going to win every single game in the Champions League phase. Maybe it's not the best way to look at it, but you want to win every single game. But I did predict that you're going to win 5, draw 2, and lose 1. I did expect us to lose either against Inter Milan or Sporting because of our poor away record in Europe. But today's game, I feel like we really deserve to get something from that game because we played really well. We had 19 shots. Our goalkeeper Red did not have to make a single save at all the entire game. We had 13 corners, 13 or 14 corners. Inter Milan had 0. But you also have to look at why he didn't score a goal. Because, in another day, you look at it and you're like, okay, yeah, maybe it's a game we deserve to win. I'm okay to live with that kind of loss. It's fine. But you also look at it, like a couple of better decisions, from Martinelli, from Havertz, and we get a goal in that game. Or maybe if you have a finisher there, you easily get 2 or 3 goals. Like on another day, if we have a striker in that game and better decision making, we get 3 or 4 goals in that game. Like that's how much you dominated that game. But ultimately, they still got the win, and they got the 3 points. They got 0 points. So you also have to look at that. But again, that's what I'm saying. This is a very confusing kind of game. I don't know how to feel. Can I feel okay? Fine, it's fine. I expected us to lose one of these games anyway. Let's just move on to the next game. Or should I be happy, with this performance? And I'm like, okay, if we play like this any other game, actually, I'm actually going to say that I think if we play like this in any other game and bet and have better decision making and all that, we definitely get 2 or 3 goals. I think this is our best performance even in the last 1 month. I've never seen us attacking. However, we were attacking, like we were trying to take shots. Havertz was taking shots. Martinelli was putting in crosses. Saka was active the entire game. Partey was really good. Saliba and Gabriel are pushing forward. Ben White is pushing forward. Timber was pushing forward. Like everyone was very involved in the game. Even Raya, there's some few times he was up to the half of the pitch. But again, in the final third, that is where the problem is, because we've not scored now in like three times out of the last 4 games, and that is the problem. So that is a problem that needs sorting out for sure in January. But right now we are far away from January. We need sorting out right now. I'm very happy to see Odegaard coming back. I think he has to start against Chelsea. We cannot play like that again against Chelsea and then lose the game. No, this kind of performance deserves to get a win, but we can't get a win because we don't have the finishers, and also decision making is poor, and that is why you're not able to get a win in this kind of game. Now, Inter Milan have not considered a single goal in the Champions League so far this season. It's always going to be hard to break them down with 4-5 defenders that they have. They're playing a back 5, so it's going to be very hard to defend again, to attack them, and they bring in the likes of DiMarco and all that. But we actually did create the chances. We actually had the openings, but we didn't finish the chances. And I don't think the Havertz one was a bad miss. I think it was blocked, so it was a very good block. But again, a bit of cleverness in that situation, maybe a quick turn, and then put in the side corner or whatever. Just decision making, that is the problem. But today I don't feel, I still feel like, I don't feel like, okay, my goodness, this is the end of the world. You're not going to win every single Champions League game, but when you play that well, you have to take something from that, because maybe against Sporting it's going to be totally different. And I feel like this kind of performance deserved something away from that game, and fortunately we didn't get it. And we have to move on to the next game very quickly in terms of the Chelsea game. So let's quickly discuss what Ateta went for today. So this is the Ateta's lineup today. We went very strong. Personally, I was asking for Timber to be rested for the Chelsea game, but we went to Timber, Gabriel, Saliba, White, Partey, Trossard, Merino, Martinelli, Havertz, and Saka. And then on the bench, nice to see Odegaard back and a few of the youngsters there as well. And then obviously, if we need to turn to them, Jorginho, Sterling, Jesus, Zinchenko, Nwaneri, all of those players on the bench. But the lineup itself that's a good lineup to play up against Inter Milan. Like, the truth is, few years back, 4 years back, 5 years back, or even before, okay, before we went out of the Champions League for like 5, 6 years, us going to Inter Milan would have scared the hell out of me. Like, I would have been, oh my goodness, Inter Milan, they're going to absolutely trash us. Look at their team and look at our team. But right now, I look at that Arsenal team, despite the results that we've had the last few weeks. I look at that Arsenal team, I'm like, okay, these guys are men. We should be able to go there to Inter Milan and, not get dismantled 3 or 4 nil or anything like that. No, we should be able to go there and compete. That's the minimum I'm asking for. Let's compete, let's attack, let's, create chances. And we did that. We did all of that. We competed, we created more chances than them. We had more position than them. We had more corners than them, probably more touches in their box than them, but ultimately still need to get the goal. But for me, this team, okay, with for sure the team itself up against Inter Milan, I think that team that can be able to get something out of there. That is not a team that scares me. I'm like, oh my goodness, are we going to Inter Milan with this kind of team? No, that is a team that is able to go out there and perform. And I think we did perform, but we didn't get anything from the game. But if you play like that against every other team and take your chances this time, you probably win all of those games that are coming up. What we need to do now in the Premier League, in the Champions League, listen, so far we've beaten PSG, we've beaten Shakhtar, we've drawn with Atalanta, we've lost to Inter Milan. I predicted 5 wins, 2 draws, 1 loss. That should be able to still get you to like third on the table or something. That should be well and good. Absolutely fine. No team's going to finish unbeaten. Teams are going to lose every single game. Have you seen Real Madrid lose, Barcelona lose, Bayern Munich lose? We've lost our game. Now we can't afford to lose any other now. Now Sporting, Dinamo Zagreb, Monaco, and Girona. We need 3 wins and a draw from that, and then we'll be good to go. But we now have to put this behind us and focus on the league, because the league is now very important. Now we are like only 1 defeat away from it going to basically dying our chances of the title if Liverpool go 10 points out of us. So I want us to go play like that against Chelsea, but this time be more clever in and around the box, have different ideas, take your chances, any chance that comes up. The corners that we're getting, 14 corners, you have to at least capitalize on one of them. I know they cleared the ball off the line a couple of times. I know Inter Milan probably has one of the best defenses in the world, so you're not going to come up against that kind of defense every single time. But I think Odegaard has to be there over the weekend. I think he has to be there. Like, in terms of the creativity, although we created a lot of chances today, we need Odegaard in that team. Like, the magic that he has in the final third, we really badly need it. Because today I didn't feel like we struggled defensively. We didn't struggle in midfield. Partey played really well in midfield. I thought when Nane came in, he looked lively. I think the wing backs were doing okay. It's only like once that Dumfries went past team, but that was it really. But I think everyone else did okay, but you definitely need better than okay to win those kind of games. And we need to go on a run in the Premier League. If you beat Chelsea, international break after that, and then the fixtures after the international break, not easy, but you need to go on a run. Last season in the Premier League, we were able to win 6 games in a row at the end of the season. We were able to win 8 in a row before the Aston Villa defeat. We need more of the same this time round. If we beat Chelsea, hopefully we do. After that, we need to go on a win and probably win every single fixture in December to close that gap. We need to do that. So we need to play like the way we play today, but take your chances, finish your opportunities, and hopefully Odegaard is back there, and we can be more clever in terms of the final third. Because right now, because we're not the best of finishers, so we're not the best of finishing in terms of our team, and we're not going to create too many chances. The ones that we create, we're supposed to be taking. Although today was different, we had 19 attempts at Inter Milan. Usually away from home, this kind of games, you don't have that many attempts. I think FC Porto last season maybe 2 or 3. Atalanta last time out maybe had 3 or 4, something like that. Bayern Munich maybe 3 or 4. We don't usually have that many attempts away from home against big teams like this. So I saw a bit of a change there. Maybe you're unlucky in terms of not getting a penalty in this situation. Inter Milan got their penalty. I think Inter Milan is definitely a penalty. We didn't get ours. I think this is a 50-50. I think someone would give you, someone would not give you sometimes. And they got their chance and they scored it, and they came back in the second half and they knew what to do. They just had to defend and see the game out, and that's what they did, and they got the 3 points. So that's the experience part. That's the experience part that they have in the Champions League. And ultimately, we've lost the game. We had a few chances. Jesus also came on at halftime for Merino. Martinelli decision-making. Martinelli is getting so many openings by decision-making. He was putting in a couple of good crosses, but there's a few situations in that game where I felt like, why are we putting in so many crosses sometimes to Saka and to Martinelli? They're obviously going to clear it, maybe try something different, and that is what I say. That's what I mean by Odegaard needs to be there against Chelsea, like creativity in and around the box. We're doing a bit of the same all the time. And it looked like in the 90th minute when you're putting in those crosses, it looked like we'd play until tomorrow and you wouldn't score. They would just clear the ball, clear the ball, clear the ball up until tomorrow morning. That's how it felt like. That is why I need to change things around, try a few different things. But listen, Nwaneri came on, he looked lively. Zinchenko also came on. Odegaard came on, thankfully he's back. The corners, if you get 13-14 corners, you need to make use. Saliba had kind of an opportunity that he missed. The first half, apart from when Dumfries hit the post very early on in the game, because when they hit the post and they had another shot, I was like, oh no, like this could be another long day. But no, we actually picked up the game and we started dominating it all the way through to the 90th minute, but we didn't get the goal. So that's why I said at the beginning, very difficult. This is a kind of a difficult game to, talk about. Like, how do I feel? Should I be happy that we played really well, had 19 attempts on Inter Milan, and just played the same and we'll beat any other team that don't have a defense that Inter Milan have? Or should I feel like, oh my goodness, these chances that you created, should do better with it, should not be losing this game? Does it make you feel worse that we dominated the game and still lost? Like, different. I don't know how to feel about this game, but I'm able to live with it. Let's go to the next game. As long as you don't lose any of the Champions League game, I think 2 losses is a bit puts in a bit of a tricky situation, but 1 loss is not the end of the world. But hoping that we look at this performance instead of the result and go to that Chelsea game without looking at the result and looking at the performance instead. Because if you got the Chelsea game looking at this result, it'll be like, oh my goodness, we've lost against Bournemouth, against Newcastle, against Inter Milan without scoring. It's over. No, we are not supposed to do that. Let's go into that game focusing on the performance that we had. Let's go there and perform like this again. This time, take your chances. This time, have better ideas, make better decisions in and around the box, and you get a couple of goals. Inter Milan, Chelsea don't have the same defense as Inter Milan. Let's go and do that. So quick player ratings. What am I going to give the players? I'm going to give Raya 7. I think in terms of kicking and distribution, it was okay today. He literally had 0 saves to make today. That's how much he dominated the game. 7 out of 10. Team, I'm going to give him a 6. So I feel like a couple of times Dumfries went past him, but that was it. I think he was okay for most of the game. Actually, maybe could have been a 7. I love the way he was going forward on the left side. I'm just going to give him a 6 for now. Center backs, literally again, second half, we did not have anything to do at all. It was just they were parking the bus and we were in their box. Maybe that's how teams feel when they play against us, when they play against these big teams. Gabriel 7, Saliba 7, both of them, and Ben White as well. I feel like, they literally did not have anything to do in the second half. We were dominating the ball. Partey in midfield, I think Partey was good once again. I'm going to give him an 8 out of 10. Didn't get dominated. Controlled the game on a couple of good fouls. Merino got subbed off at halftime. Could have had a penalty. He handled the ball. I think it was unlucky. That was for the Inter Milan penalty. 6 out of 10 for him. Trossard, 6 out of 10. Not lively, unfortunately, and I think Odegaard coming back, Trossard will not play now. Unfortunately, I think he's had a lot of games to prove himself in that position, but he didn't. And now since Odegaard is back, I don't think Trossard will play that much unless he subs Martinelli on the left side. Saka, I'm going to give him a 7. Always lively, looked like our best opportunity in terms of getting a goal. Martinelli 6 and Havertz 6 as well. Both of them were involved in the game, but better decision making in the box from the 2, and we'd have had 2 or 3 goals today. From the bench, I think Nwaneri was okay, 6 out of 10. I'm also going to give Jesus a 6 out of 10. Who else came on? Zinchenko came on in the 81st minute. I mean, that's not too long, so I'm just going to give him a 5 out of 10. And Odegaard as well, we can't trade him. He didn't play for too long, but really, really happy to have him back. I'm just going to give him a 6. I don't think it was a bad performance. I think it was a performance that deserved to get something from the game. The only thing I'd say, maybe I don't think Odegaard was fit to be brought in early. Maybe a Nwaneri early on, 70 minutes or something instead of 80. Maybe we'd have a couple of better created chances. So those are my player ratings. My man of the match probably someone like a Partey or Saka. Both of them are really involved in the game and were really good. Both of them once again, but better decision making, and we're able to get something from the game against Chelsea, because that is a must win. This one, I'd say. And I think we're going to either lose this one or the Sporting one. It's not the end of the world. You can still finish in the top 3 with 1 loss. No team is going to finish with 8 wins out of 8. It's impossible. It's very, very competitive, but it kind of leaves sour taste in your mouth, and you feel like, oh my goodness, we've played really well and didn't get a goal again. Why? What is wrong? But hey, let me know what you made of the game. 1-0 to Inter Milan. We move on to the next game, that is Chelsea, and then an international break after that. And then next game against Sporting, we saw how Gyökeres destroyed Man City. Our next game is Sporting, another game that is not going to be easy at all. Thank you for watching, and I'll catch up with you guys on the next